Okay, join me on page 98 in your social studies textbook, the Umayyad Culture. The first known settlements in southern Mesopotamia formed in about 5000 BC. This culture is known today as the Umayyad Culture. For the most part, the people of the Umayyad culture lived simply, raising just enough crops to survive. They used stone hoes to work their fields and clay sickles to harvest their wheat and barley crops. The Umayyad people lived close to their fields in huts made of reeds and mud. They worshipped their gods in small one-room temples. By about 4500 BC, this ancient culture had spread across much of the Fertile Crescent. Over time, the way of life of the Umayyad people began to change. The people built more advanced irrigation systems and produced surpluses of crops. Remember, surpluses means extra, more than they needed to eat. The simple life gave way to one that required rules and organization. Leaders were needed, and one person in each community served as village chief. The Umayyad people began living in larger homes and building larger temples to honor their many gods. At about this time, the Umayyad people began creating painted pottery. Boats carried the pottery and other trade goods to villages throughout the region. In about 4000 BC, a new, more advanced culture developed from the Umayyad culture. Still, the Umayyad culture formed the foundation for the civilization that eventually developed in southern Mesopotamia. Okay, going down to the bottom of page 98 where it says cultural heritage. Follow along. Marsh Arabs. Today, the Madan, or Marsh Arabs, live near the lakes and marshes of southern Iraq. The Marsh Arabs have something in common with the Umayyad people. They depend on many of the same natural resources that the ancient people once did. The wetlands on which the Marsh Arabs live have shaped their way of life. The Marsh Arabs fish, herd water buffalo, and collect reeds for making mats. These mats are used to make canoes, roofs for their mud brick houses, and pillars to support their homes. The Marsh Arabs dry fish for food and for export to other areas where fish are less plentiful. They also depend on water buffalo for meat and milk production as part of their livelihood. Okay, turning the page to page 99. At the top, from city to civilization. After the Umayyad culture, the people known as the Sumerians developed many new ideas in southern Mesopotamia. These ideas led to complex cultures in the region. By 4000 BC, farming villages had spread in southern Mesopotamia, using agricultural techniques to produce food surpluses. Some villages emerged as the first cities. The cities of Eridu, Uruk, Kish, and had developed by 3500 BC. Soon, the Sumerians formed one of the world's first civilizations in Sumer. Okay, going back down to the summary. Like some other major river systems, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers gave rise to an early civilization. Between these rivers in southern Mesopotamia, the Sumerians developed new ideas for more complex cultures there. This led to one of the first civilizations in Sumer. So here you can see on the map the Tigris and Euphrates River. This is all considered the Fertile Crescent. Later we'll be talking about some of the civilizations that sprang up along the Nile River in Egypt. But right now we're talking about this region here, which is located in present-day Iraq and parts of Syria. Okay, turning the page to page 100. Read a land use and products map. Okay, number 1, why it matters. Like the early Mesopotamians, the people who live in southwestern Asia today depend on their land and natural resources to survive. How do they use the land? What kinds of natural resources does the region have? What kinds of products do Southwestern Asians make with those resources? To find the answers, you might use a map that shows how land is used and where products are made. Number 2, what you need to know. The map on the next page is a land use and products map of present-day Southwestern Asia. This is the same area that was once home to some of the world's earliest towns and cities. Colors on the map show land use, or what is done with most of the land in a particular place or region. Study the map key to learn which color stands for each kind of land use. The picture symbols on the map show some of the products made in Southwestern Asia today. Study the map key to learn which symbol stands for each product. The map cannot show exactly how all land in Southwestern Asia is used or every product made there. Instead, the map shows the main uses of the land and the major products of the region. Okay, turn the page, join me on page 101. Okay, if you're looking at the map above, it's showing a larger area than the map I'm showing in the video currently. So you'll want to look at the map in the book on page 101, but I wanted to give you another example of what a land use map might look like. But again, this only covers Iraq. In the map on page 101, you're looking at a bunch of countries: Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Turkey, Iran, Afghanistan, Yemen, Oman. But you'll notice the colors, similar to the colors here, but the map on page 101 also has little icons, okay? And those little icons represent different types of products that are being produced or made in that area. Okay, so you have cement making, chemicals, cotton, coal, dates, all different kinds of stuff. This map that I found online just shows cultivated lands under major irrigation. You'll notice those all along the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Woodland and grazing, so the kind of a foresty area. Desert grazing and marginal agriculture, so deserty areas. And desert and semi-desert, this would be most likely, for the most part, unoccupied areas, because it's going to be harsh living there because it's so hot and arid and dry. Okay, follow along, join me on 101. Practice the skill. Look at the map and the map key to answer these questions. So again, you're going to be looking at the map that's in your textbook. This is the map on the video is just another example. You're going to be using the map in the textbook though. So see if you can find the answers to these questions. What are 2 crops that farmers grow in Southwestern Asia? Okay, so you're going to go south and to the west. And looks like I see some dates in that region. Let's see what else. A lot of petroleum. Yeah, the only thing I'm seeing is dates right now. They want one more though. Let's see if I can find one more. I guess maybe cotton if you're including kind of southwestern Iraq. So I would probably say dates and cotton if I were answering that question. Number 2, what kinds of products are manufactured? So what kinds of things are made? So you're looking at things like textiles, natural gas, metalworks, food processing, electronics, chemicals, cement, those types of things. Number 3, where is most of the little used land in Southwestern Asia? Why do you think it is little used? So you can kind of see some big areas in Saudi Arabia that have very few icons, some in Iran, and why do you think those are little used? Well, most likely, based on our map that we're looking at on the video, they're probably deserted regions, very dry regions. Number 4, where is most of the petroleum found? So petroleum is gas, so you can look for those little icons that show the where the petroleum is made. Number 5, which land uses and products shown in the map key might be the same on a land use and products map of early Mesopotamia? So obviously in early Mesopotamia, they're not going to have petroleum, natural gas, food processing, electronics, but they could have things like cotton, dates, tobacco, olives, grapes. These are the things they could have had back then as well. Okay, apply what you've learned. And you don't actually have to do this. We're going to read it though. Do research at the library or on the internet to find a land use and products map for the United States. Compare the resources found in Southwestern Asia to the ones found in the United States. How do you think life is different in these two parts of the world based on the resources and land uses in each? Let me see if I can find a product use map for the United States, and I'll show you that. All right, so here's a product land use or product map for the United States. It's only part of one. I couldn't find the whole thing, but it gives you an idea of what the United States would look like. So this one, though, focuses mainly on different excuse me, natural resources, maybe not so much the electronics and things like that. But you can see the different icons: oil, forest products, gold, silver, all these different products, fishing down along the western and eastern seaboard. So again, just an example, another example of what a product or land use map would look like. Okay. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.